Welcome to another episode of Repitch. I'm David, here with my co-host Richard.
Hey guys.
So Repitch, where we revisit, review, and redo movies. Today.
Whenever you're listening to this.
We've got, I think personally this is going to be my rant episode. This movie that Richard picked is one that I personally hate.
Oh man.
Hate.
It's
next
so
to
bad.
as much as what is it called? The Last Airbender. You want to introduce this movie? I don't even want to say the name of this movie.
We're reviewing, talking about, and repitching Dragon Ball Evolution. Came out 2009. Yes. It is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, David.
But easily.
Before we go on the bad, because I know you and I'm thinking maybe making this a 2-part repitch because there's so much bad in this movie. Let's talk about the good. Do you have anything that's good about this movie?
I mean, I guess the good thing I could say about them is that they tried.
They tried.
Not very hard, but they tried.
They made an effort. The bar is that low.
They made an effort. I mean, honestly, for me, I think because, I think just like a lot of us Asian Americans growing up, Dragon Ball Z was like a huge part of our lives.
Yeah.
So seeing this movie come out, I think I had no good things out of it.
No. I, as a joke, I'm like, okay, Richard, you need to think of at least some good things, and I'm like, I could only think of two, like, the iconic Goku uniform, the yellow key, the yellow outfit, the orange outfit.
Right.
When he wore it, I'm like, it's not terrible. I wish I could make fun of it, but it's the best it can be. Because it's an orange jumpsuit kind of thing. It's a ridiculous idea, but I thought it didn't look too terrible. That's the one good thing. The other good thing is it's under 2 hours. It's 1 hour and 40 minutes. It's only 1 hour and 40 minutes, which is ridiculous. But let's go at it, David. Let's go at it.
All right, so we're going straight at it. Well, I think we can easily. I just want to get the rating out of the way first.
Yeah, what's the rating?
I can easily. I mean, this is
our rating. Yeah.
Our rating. Yeah, this is like I'm just automatically 2 thumbs down.
Oh, me too, David.
This one.
This is our first 4 thumbs down for it. This is a -4. This is a really bad movie.
This is a bad one. This is a bad one.
It literally, I haven't felt this bad and this moody after watching a movie since we've watched what's that Mark Wahlberg movie that you made me watch?
Max Payne.
Yeah, this is
what's worse. What's worse?
This is worse because this is personal. I feel like I've been assaulted. Like my child has been assaulted. That's what it is.
I do agree.
Where do we even go with this, David? There's so much problems with this.
I'll start off.
Okay.
I'll start off this rant we're gonna go off on. So for me, definitely just first thing that went wrong was they just did not follow the story.
Yeah.
At all.
No.
They try to see what they tried to do was they mixed Dragon Ball Z with Dragon Ball, and I think that was a big mistake.
It's a terrible. Yeah.
That they're 2 different genres, in my opinion. Like they're both martial arts themes, but one is clearly like a fantasy theme, while the next one is like a more of a sci-fi theme. I mean,
Goku's the main star, but he's a very different age. Like in Dragon Ball, he's like 12. Right. He's a child. He's a kid. Right. While Dragon Ball Z, he's an adult. He's a young adult.
Right. And just like the what is it? The characters are very different, and like once they become in Z, the whole idea of Saiyans come out. That's a little bit more revealing.
They completely expand the universe.
Yeah,
it just becomes like no longer just a kids anime. It's like, oh shoot, this is some deep, dark stuff going on here.
So I think that right off the bat for me was just a big no. Yeah. Like if you're gonna change the story, like this was not the way to do it. I'm not sure like how to have like change it to make it your own, but this definitely was not the way to go about it.
They basically like summed up 3 or 4 different arcs into 1 hour and 40 minutes, which is like insane.
Yes.
Introducing all these characters with no strings or just gosh, David. I think this movie broke me.
And I think all right, so obviously one of the biggest factors of this movie that bothered us was the fact that it was whitewashed. It was a whitewashed role. Yeah. I don't care what people say Goku's an alien, blah blah blah. He's Asian.
Yeah,
He's
an
an Asian
guy.
character.
Okay, so let's talk about Goku first because that in itself is a whole section.
Yes.
Because like Goku, when we were first introduced to him in the anime, he's just this weird village kid. He's by himself. Right. He's supposed to be pure of heart, this innocent kid that's like really weird but really strong. Not weird in a like, oh, like he's a nerd or something, or he's just
no, but like you said, he's just pure. He's so innocent,
exactly,
like, pure of heart, and everything to him is just like very face value.
Yeah, and like his values in life is what? Friendship and fighting. He loves to fight and train.
Right.
That is his identity. But this movie, I hate this kind of movie where they're like, how do we make Goku relatable? Let's bring him to high school.
No.
Let him have a bully. Freaking Fuller. Oh my gosh. Like, how
it's like you're gonna give Goku a bully?
Yeah.
Like, no.
You completely missed the point of Dragon Ball. I'm like, you can't bring him to school. And I'm thinking, like, why is Goku the weird kid in high school? Like, in whatever grade he is. Why is he the weird kid? There's no reason. He's white. He's good looking. There's absolute no reason for him. Like, if you told me that, oh, his grandpa recently transferred him into school that year, then, like, okay, I guess if he's never been to school his whole life, he's kind of, right. Yeah. But no, there's no reason. He's just, he's just a weird kid.
Seriously. And, like, going into that, like, the whole... Maybe if the whole fact that he was white wouldn't have bothered me if they got the character right. But even they just completely, like you said, completely missed the mark with the character. Yeah. Like, Goku... I want to go back and say that he is this character in this series. He's just like some dude who just loves fighting, and that's all he thinks about. But
fighting and food, that's his main main mindset.
And like you said, for this one, like they try to make him too relatable. When did this come out again? Like
2009.
2009.
It was that dark time of the
it was like
2000s movie where like they just churned out bad movie after bad movie.
Sorry, you just cut off for me for a second.
Yeah, this is around the time where they're churning out bad movie after bad movie, and this is another bad movie.
Yes, and with the character, like you said, it was they try to make him relatable, and they gave this whole sequence of like him just so infatuated with like Chi-Chi.
I hated that whole thing. So
that just never happened ever.
No,
it was actually the other way around in the series.
Oh my gosh, like his whole mindset, you know what this movie tells me? Like, it focuses on his relationship with Chi-Chi, where it makes no sense why they'll be together.
They make that into too big of a driving force for the movie.
And you don't know anything about the villain. Like, I don't even know who the bad guy is. I'm like, I don't, like, if I'd never watched Dragon Ball, like, I have no reason to know he's a bad guy because he's a bad guy.
He's just a green dude who just. There's not even a cool reveal for him or anything.
He's just so stupid. You know what this movie teaches you? It teaches you the power boners. Basically, like the drive for any man is basically to be with a woman, and that's what it teaches you. Like, oh, how does Goku learn how to use his ki, how to use his powers? Put a girl there. Let's make it that easy. That's simple. It's so insulting, David.
And let's add to the fact that for some reason the bad guys were all Japanese.
Oh yeah,
most of them.
Yeah, this movie is just a mess. It's just. Fun fact: they use over 40 cans of hairspray for his hair, and I'm like, you know what? It's not realistic to give him Goku's hair, but still, he looks ridiculous, and everything about this guy is so unlikable. He's so. I really don't like him, David.
Oh man, it's safe to say that this probably ruined his career. Did not give him a good shot afterwards.
I feel so bad. I'm like, I'm sure he's an okay actor, but like, I haven't seen him in anything else.
The only other thing I really remember him in was briefly in Shameless, and he was in War of the Worlds. That was what got him. Yeah, he was Tom Cruise's kid, and I think that's what got him noticed.
Yeah, and so like this is one part of the beginning part of the movie, which frustrated me to no end, where like it's his birthday. That's when his grandpa died, and he doesn't know anything about his childhood. He doesn't know anything. But again, this is how my proof that this movie is all about the power boners. I'm so sorry for any children listening to this, but it's basically like, okay, your grandpa's gonna tell you everything that he's been keeping a secret on your 18th birthday, yet he chooses not to be with his grandfather. He doesn't even tell his grandfather that he's leaving the house, and even though the grandfather is like has a birthday cake and everything, just to see the girl. Just that idea in itself is so insulting to that character.
Right, yeah, that is something Goku would never do.
No, like again,
Never.
this
But
movie.
yeah, like I think from beginning to end, I had so many problems. Like they should have just not kept him. That whole high school sequence thing. Like he should have just never been in school.
No, like
His fight with Piccolo was so like underwhelming.
every fight scene was super underwhelming. Okay, so let's get to that part. The problem with the power system in this movie, because like this is a perfect example of how Hollywood does mysticism completely wrong. Like for example, like Star Wars when they introduced midichlorians, you can't once you like bring it down so you to like the nitty-gritty details of like, oh, this is how we can do it. You know the key, let's call it water, earth and fire. Let's bring it down, and you just completely just ruin it. And oh my goodness, when Master Roshi teaches Goku how to use a Kamehameha, I was so frustrated. I'm like, are you serious? This is air bending? Like, how is Dragon Ball Z ripping off of Avatar? That makes no sense.
Yes. Everything about this, like again, like it's just like you said. Even that whole sequence with the Kamehameha and all that is just nothing excited me.
No.
There's nothing. At no point was I even for a second was like, all right, that's kind of cool.
And
Or like,
anytime they're shooting a fireball, whatever, it looks like a really bad CGI that you could honestly do on your phone.
right? It's like in a lot of bad movies, they're bad.
Yeah.
But there might be like one or two scenes in there where you can be like, all right, I enjoyed that movie because of this.
Exactly.
This one was not it. Not that at all.
And something they completely rob away from this is like, they like, oh, you know what? Goku is not a Saiyan or whatever. He's like a slave under King Piccolo, Lord Piccolo, whatever they call him in this movie. And like, they take away his tail. They take away like the most interesting part of who he is, and just make him just an average boy. And the freaking main plot, the main point of this movie that Gohan, his grandfather tells him is always have faith in who you are. That is it. I hated it. Every time they mention it, I was so frustrated by that.
Oh man, I think our bloods are boiling right
Yeah.
now. But let's like bring it back. Let's bring it back real quick. Let's talk about the actual series real quick.
Oh, the Dragon Ball series.
Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Like just let's take it back. Let's kind of reminisce about like what we remember about it and some of our favorite moments from it and why we love it so much. So like for you, like what I know you said that Dragon Ball Evolution was such a disappointment because of how much Dragon Ball was an influence for you. Like what about it was that?
Something that I absolutely loved about Dragon Ball Z is the world. It's like Earth, but not really. Like there's these beautiful nature scenes, there are deserts, forests, and all these beautiful landscapes, but there's also this like advanced world that's not like dirty or grimy, but like this clean, smooth looking world that's also advanced. You see like capsule corporations where you could like see giant machines come from a tiny capsule, and it's just like it somehow mends both of that and creates such an interesting universe. In Dragon Ball Z, the later series introduced like aliens from other planets, even introducing a whole new kind of perspective. Like the world itself, it has such flavor and character, but like not in this movie. Like this is another like I hate like it's like another gritty like, oh, let's make it dark and let's put on some like house music just to make it look more hip, and oh gosh.
Was there one series you prefer over the other, like Dragon Ball over Dragon Ball Z?
I honestly I think Dragon Ball is a perfect series.
How so? Why so?
I think the arc between Goku as a kid turning to a young adult is absolutely amazing. It's not as enticing, and again, like you said before in the beginning, it's a completely different genre almost. like
Mhm.
because Dragon Ball Z is almost like a space. It's a space opera, basically, almost.
Yeah.
But this one, like Dragon Ball, is more like a fantasy, like adventure kind of series, and it's really fun. And like you see the growth of his character, and like I'm sure anyone's favorite thing about Dragon Ball, about Goku, is that the idea that you can overcome any challenges if you work hard enough, and not with the power of boners. Like
Absolutely.
I can't even get like, I think that's like the most frustrating thing. They just don't, like, you see him make no effort. Like his, oh gosh. What do you like about Dragon Ball, David, before I have a stroke?
Well, I mean, Dragon Ball, just to start off, it was an adventure story that I definitely caught on to, that I really loved and enjoyed, and it's based off of like, like Asian folktale about the Monkey King or something like that.
Yeah,
the monkey.
Yeah, the Chinese, Japanese.
I don't know too much about it, but like I remember my parents kind of like, or my dad telling me like brief stories about that, and then I caught on to Dragon Ball, and I was like, oh, sounds similar, and just I really enjoyed the story, the adventure, and like you said, the character building of Goku in that was really fun.
Yeah.
And and that period where you see him go from like little boy to man, that transition is always fun. And but for me, I think I prefer Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. I mean, like, it's known to be that. It's really fun.
But then I agree with you in that Dragon Ball might be the better series to follow through, better story. There's a little bit more heart to it.
Yeah.
It's a little more down to earth, as you know.
Honestly, we might need to have a Dragon Ball Z like episode just dedicated talking about how good it is, and that transition between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Like I'm sure like only 1% of our audience understands what we're talking about, and truly going through that conversation, it would be great.
Have you seen any of the newer ones?
No, I have not. It's on Hulu. Like, if I have the time, I would watch it, but I'd rather be nostalgic of what I watched as a kid and just reminisce on that.
That's true. True. Did you read the manga series as well?
Oh yeah,
at all?
as a kid, that's my main source of where I watched Dragon Ball. Like, 'cause my dad had the comics in Korean, and I didn't know how to read Korean, so I would just look at the pictures, and because like, who's the author? The
Akira Toriyama.
Yeah, because the way he draws action and dialogue is so intuitive, you understood just looking at the pictures what is going on and what's happening. And like, he had a couple of issues, and I remember like when I was in middle school, our library had like a book sale, and they had a bunch of Dragon Balls that was on like for like you could buy like 5 for $1, and I just picked up all I could carry home, and I would just read that over and over and over again because it was so good.
Oh, so I think I'm pretty excited to hear what you have in store for us.
All right, wait, I got a couple of more just things that are just grinding my gear about this movie.
Please.
Yeah, I have.
Please.
I need to send you this document because legit, it's so long. It's just ridiculous. All right. Let's do it. First of all, how are you gonna mess up Shenlong that he doesn't talk? Like, that is ridiculous. He's just this golden CGI dragon, and you need a prayer to awaken him. I mean, that's ridiculous.
No.
Like,
yeah.
What's the criteria? It has to be night in the anime, just nighttime, and you just ask Shenlong to come on and just be here.
No, it doesn't even have to be nighttime.
Yeah.
You just have to have the Dragon Balls, and you just summon him.
I'm like,
that's
so
it.
Dumb. So okay, Chi-Chi. I don't understand why she's such a main character in this movie. Like, again, like all she proves is the power bonus. Like, I know I should stop saying that term, but like that's all that proves that men won't do anything unless a woman is involved. Like, that's what this movie teaches you. Piccolo. You know who plays Piccolo in this movie?
Who?
What's his name? And Buffy the Vampire Slayer, her boyfriend, Spike.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Really?
Something Maston, I believe. And like I'm reading articles and like I see like this guy is like really interested in like giving Piccolo depth, but like this movie gives him no effort at all. Like you don't see him in any scenes of just him talking, of him having a conversation more than 10 seconds for a henchwoman and
No.
just like, and it's just a shame. And he does nothing. There's no depth. Bulma, oh my gosh, because Bulma is known to be this titular character. She is Goku's first friend, and she's known to
Right.
have this blue hair. But like now, there's this teenage punk girl with one blue strand on her hair, and I was so frustrated when I saw that. And I'm like, she's supposed to be this super smart person, like a genius, but she does
Yes, yeah.
nothing smart this whole movie. She does nothing intelligent. Like if you literally just wipe her off from the screen, like you won't even notice her gone. Master
Fair.
Roshi. Oh god.
Oh, it's such a disappointing role for Chow Yun Fat.
Yeah, he is an amazing actor. And like on paper he should be great, but again, what he was given to act with, the writing is terrible. The writer, fun fact, the writer Ben Ramsey, he actually got death threats because of how much people hated this movie, and years later he admitted that the only reason that he wrote this movie was for a paycheck. Which is the most heartbreaking thing to hear.
Seriously, get him out of here.
Yamcha, he's so boring and bland. He's you know who he is?
Who is he?
He's one of the singers for God, a Korean K-pop group back in the 90s, early 2000s.
No way.
He is.
Was he really?
He really.
What's his-
I'm like 99% sure. That's why he's such a like an awkward person. He's just a famous Korean guy. That's it.
That's hilarious.
He's terrible in it. He's so bland and just like Yamcha in itself is an interesting character, but I'll talk about that later. Oh my gosh, we see Ernie Hudson and there's a Sifu Norris and this random monk guy.
Who is it? Oh yeah, that's right. Just a random monk. Like what the heck?
Is there anything else?
Randall Duck Kim as Grandpa Gohan.
He was. I don't know why Gohan's alive in this. Like, I don't. I guess like they try to make it easier. So like, oh, let Gohan die in Goku's arms, so you relate to Goku more. But it
Give him some depth.
yeah, no,
you know.
it completely falls flat. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate that the last scene in this movie, the last two scenes, is Goku with Chi-Chi. Goku with Chi-Chi saying sorry, kissing her, and bantering, and like, oh my gosh, how they fight each other just to prove a point. It shows you how much you don't understand what the source material.
This should have been a straight to like TV movie.
No,
not even straight to DVD.
This should not have been made.
Fair. They shouldn't have been made. Period. But like they shouldn't have been released in theaters.
No. Have you seen the end credit scene for this movie?
I didn't even know there was end credits.
Oh my god! So in the beginning of the movie, like Piccolo and his henchwoman May destroys a village, and this is Japanese woman like screaming.
Yeah.
So basically, we see her again at some village taking care of someone, and you see it's Piccolo.
Oh, like baby Piccolo?
No, just regular Piccolo. It's the same.
Oh,
age.
regular Piccolo.
I'll put the
What?
clip up. I'll send you the clip, and I'm gonna put it out. Like it literally like. It's clearly like, okay, this is the next movie. What are they gonna do here? Make Piccolo. Honestly, I feel like they might have just like, okay, now Piccolo is learning the good of humanity now, and he's gonna team up with Goku to fight a Saiyan. I feel like that's the string they were going for, but thank goodness they didn't.
Well, thank goodness this failed at the first movie.
No. Do you know this movie was filmed in an abandoned gene factory, mostly with blue and green screen? Doesn't that make complete sense? Like all of this was
does.
Yeah. What else? So when this movie was originally supposed to be a large blockbuster of $120 million budget, and that's how they sold this movie to James Marsters, Piccolo, and Chow Yun Fat. But when they got to set, they discovered that they cut down the cost to only $30 million.
Dang.
That is
30 million. That's
it's 1/4 of how much the budget is. And they were under contract, so they couldn't leave. It cost $30 million. You know how much it made opening week in America?
No, how much?
$4 million.
Oof.
That's bad.
Jeez.
And worldwide it made $55.7 million, which is I'm pretty sure does not cover the budget.
No, definitely not. This was a failure all around.
It
like,
was.
There's no.
Oh gosh, this movie was a hot mess. It was
It's not. There's no room for any type of like what do you call it? Cushion. This was just bad.
No,
this was bad.
It's a flaming turd of garbage.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But yes, I'm excited to hear what you have in store for us.
Okay. All right. This is my pitch, David. So just to give a little summary before I go into my casting, then I'll get my pitch. So the summary is we're not going to include Piccolo. Goku is a kid.
Okay.
We're not doing Dragon Ball Z yet. That's future down the road. We're doing Dragon Ball. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna what?
Is this movie or series?
It's a movie. I'm gonna.
Okay.
But this should be a series. Like this is like no brainers. Like this would make a great, maybe a Netflix TV series. Like it could literally, like it could be amazing. But like, okay, let me stick to the lane of a movie, and I think it's doable. So like the vibe I'm going for is like a kind of like a kids adventure / almost like a Stranger Things kind of vibe, where it's kind of like a mystery, kind of like children or kids going in the adventure together, discovering more of the world. That kind of vibe.
Okay.
So Bulma, she'll be played by Chloe Bennett. She's you see her in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She's a charming character. She's very very smart. She's a very good actress, and like I think she give a very good rapport against my choice for Goku. And Goku, I was originally, again, he's a kid. He's around like 12 years old. I wanted to be Hudson Yang from Fresh Off the Boat.
Hudson Yang, is he the kid?
Yeah, he's the oldest kid. Like you've seen him around, but I think he might be a little bit too old.
Okay, I see.
So there's this Australian child actor. His name is Aston Droomer, Droomer, and he's in this Netflix show called The Investigators. And this kid, like, not the best actor, but like he's adorable and he can act and he has a pretty good range. And I think he'd be great. He looks like you want to make Goku kind of look like that, young, cute looking, but like has his strength that's deceiving.
Okay, all right, yeah, no, I could see that.
Yeah. So for Master Roshi, I thought like, who do I want for Master Roshi? And the only person I could think of is the father from Kim's Convenience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You think he could do that?
Yeah, I think he could do that.
I think he could act it. Do you think he could look the part?
I don't know. You could give him a turtle shell and everything. He already wears a Hawaiian shirt all the time in Kim's Convenience.
Fair.
And he has the bald spot. I think Mr. Roshi has this vibe of being like really strong, but really like folky and like funny and like almost like charismatic and like that kind of feel. So like I think that's more like a good thing. Yamcha,
I feel like
what
he could be a good Ox King.
I understand he'd be great, but like I don't want to do him dirty. I want to give him a bigger role, and I couldn't think of an older Asian man role that like could do comedy well.
True.
Yamcha. I wanted to be Diego Ramsey. He was in what do you call it? The Star Wars movie. Then
what's it called? Rogue One.
Rogue One. Yes, he was in Rogue One. Just give him that scruffy but he's supposed to be this desert bandit. That give him that look, not a K-pop look from a former K-pop star. The villain is not going to be Piccolo, but Goku's original villain, Emperor Pilaf. You know the little blue guy?
Yeah.
So like I kind of want to CGI some tiny little blue guy and that kind of feel, but the voice by Christopher Waltz.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Give him character like he's clearly menacing and funny, but like you can't really take him seriously because he's this short little blue guy.
Okay.
Yeah. So the two main villains, May, May she was also in this movie, but you're never introduced to her or any character.
Right.
I would like her to be played by Ming Nang Wen. You see, like she's also in S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
She was Mulan. You know who she is. Everyone knows her.
Yep.
And May, she has a partner named Shu, which is the Shibu Inu dog ninja. Like I would like that to be voiced by what's his name? Literally by anyone, but like it'd be really funny if we have the same voice actor as Groot. Not Groot. As
you want Vin Diesel?
Rocket Raccoon.
Oh, Bradley Cooper.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
I think Bradley Cooper.
I feel like Alan Tudyk would be good for this one.
That's perfect. That's better. Alan Tudyk as the Shiba Inu dog ninja. That sentence alone is amazing. Okay, so all right. You ready for my pitch?
Yes, bring it.
Let me get my drink of water. All right, so we're introduced to Goku. He's this normal little boy living in the middle of nature, in the middle of like not in the middle of the woods, but like definitely deep countryside. And you see him as this super tough kid, clearly stronger than he looks. He's like picking up giant logs and just like fighting wild animals. And then we're introduced to Bulma, where she accidentally runs into Goku in the middle of the road, but Goku's not hurt, obviously, because he's super tough. And Bulma realizes, oh, Goku's holding the Dragon Ball around his neck, and Bulma tricks him to get, like taking a look, and she runs away with it. And as Goku's chasing her, that's when we're introduced to Shu, the Shiba Inu dog, and Mai, Ming Nang Wen, and and then they try to attack her, but Goku defends Bulma because like, okay, clearly she's outclassed and she's about to get hurt. And we see here like, okay, Goku's not an average kid. He a bullet shoots him, a gun hits him, but he doesn't die. So Bulma apologizes and strikes a deal and then tries to have conversations like, hey, why don't you team up with me? Because what you're holding right now is not just just a ball that your grandfather gave you, but it's actually this like set of 7 balls where you could like Dragon Ball, like stuff like that. Like, let's go look for it. She has this tracker, and like then we start introducing kind of the character. You know, like she's asking, what are you doing here as a kid alone in the woods? In this countryside, he's saying like, oh, I used to live with my grandfather. I am getting a lot of resources and all this idea. It's not original. I want to try to stay close to the Dragon Ball lore as possible while taking some liberties. So Goku's explaining that he used to live with his grandfather, but he died one day. You know, he woke up and the grandfather was like about to die. He was really hurt badly. Didn't understand why, and the next day he buried her. It's pretty sad. So later they're on their way to travel, and they reach a block dam in this village, and that's where the next Dragon Ball is. And the village asked Master Roshi. That's when we were introduced to him. And Goku is having a conversation with Master Roshi, and like they find out through like small talk that like they have the same Gohan. Goku's grandfather was Master Roshi's one of his disciples, and so Master Roshi, this is where we see him use the Kamehameha for the first time, and like just like in the anime / manga, we see like this. We see the Kim's Convenience father, this tubby guy, turn super buff and like exude this giant ball of blue beam coming out of his hands and destroying the dam, so water can freely go to the village. And Goku, you know, like he really wants to try it out, so he just tries it out in something, and it like Master Roshi's like, oh, it took me years to master that, years to like finally train myself. But after his like second try, Goku's able to do it, and Master Roshi's stunned, and like they're about to leave, and Master Roshi's like, hey, like you should come by to where I live, so like I can train you, because like I feel like that's what your grandfather needed. You have a lot of potential in you. So we get to our next act where they're in the desert trying to find another Dragon Ball, and this whole time. Mai and Shu, I'm gonna call him Shu. They're following him, trying to like, you know, steal the Dragon Ball. So they are in the desert place, and Goku is confronted by Yamcha. And at this time, Goku is clearly stronger, but Yamcha is fighting dirty. Where he finds out that, in my story, Goku as a kid, he has a tail. Like if he pulls Goku's tail, then he's weak. So like Yamcha did that. He beats him, and he's about to steal all his stuff. But then he sees Bulma for the first time and just like falls in love. And just like in the anime, he's like shy and he doesn't know how to talk to her and just runs away. And Maya and Shu are following them. You know, they try to assault him, fight him with a giant robot, trying to take it away. But Goku uses his Kamehameha and destroys the robot in one hit. But he realizes like, oh, it takes a lot of energy out of him, and he feels very sluggish. So around Act 3, they go to the village under. Then you know, after Mai and Shu, like, you know, they're afraid to go back to the boss because they failed over and over again. So they go to the boss, and we find out that it's Emperor Pilaf, this tiny little blue guy, as Christopher Watts as a joke. So the last Dragon Ball remaining is in Emperor Pilaf's kingdom, but as they're going there, Goku and Bulma, as Yamcha's also following them from behind, like trying to be close but not get their attention. The village is under their control, and they try to like free the village, but they get captured. You know, remembers that okay, Goku's weakness is his tail, and they capture him and put Goku and Bulma in this like prison, and Goku's too tired and exhausted that he can't escape. But like you could still see the ceiling. It's a mirror ceiling, just like in the anime. And like he's sharing the story, like, oh, like it's a full moon tonight. It looks really nice. And you find out that Goku's sharing that, oh, like at night, like my grandfather always warned me like not to go out when it's a full moon because something really dangerous comes out. And just like in the anime, when there's a full moon out, we learn that Goku turns into this giant ape monster, and he breaks out of prison, breaks everything out, and destroys everything. And Yamcha is the one that eventually saves the day and cuts off Goku's tail, and he ends up becoming this child again. So Goku and what do you call it? Goku, Yamcha. How does it happen in anime? They get the 7 Dragon Balls and they make a wish. Something simple, maybe to make sure.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, so
tell me yours.
So basically, I remember when it was in the anime. Their wish was just to help the village before that was sick and suffering from a disease, was Emperor Pilaf. And what he learns is that once the Dragon Balls are gone, you can't find them from a year, just like in the anime. So like, and that's how it ends. Like, okay, now they're friends, you know, and so Bulma splits up. They all split directions. Bulma goes back home to her city, and Yamcha follows Bulma while. Am I talking too fast again?
No, you're good.
And
you're good.
Goku decides like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go to Master Roshi and train with him. So this is when we end up with a trilogy. Where the second movie, we see a training montage, a training sequence with Master Roshi, and a tournament arc. And this is where we're introduced to Goku's best friend Krillin. In the third movie, that's where we're introduced to to Lord Piccolo. And just like in the anime, like Lord Piccolo kills Krillin straight up. And just and like it builds that need, like, okay, Goku will need to train harder to fight and get revenge.
I see. Will there be a fourth movie after that?
Hey, you know, maybe I'm making a MC like a what do you call it, MCU for Dragon Ball Z, which is completely possible if you rethink about it.
I think so. I think there is a very good way to not just combine Dragon Ball Z to make it live action, but to do what the MCU did and combine different ways to combine different animes.
Oh yeah, it's so easy. I feel like with good writing and like determination, you could definitely do it.
Absolutely. So I mean, was that the end of it?
Yes, I'm about to faint, but I think I talked for like 3 or 5 minutes straight without breathing.
So real quick. So for the story plot line, it seems like you said, you followed pretty close to what the original is.
Yeah.
And I'm all for that. I love that.
I mean, like, why mess with something that's not broken?
Right.
But of course, I guess some characters had to be taken out. Like, I had to take out the Ox King. I had to take out, like, Oolong and Pilaf and all those people. But, you know, they're not essential. Right.
But, so I guess on top of that, the next thing that everybody wants to see Dragon Ball for is obviously the action fighting scene.
Oh yeah, it'd definitely be involved.
I know this, we've said this before, but it's kind of like hard to like say that in words to describe it. Mm-hmm. But like real quick, how would you like visualize those for your movie?
So it'd definitely be more action based. You won't see as many like ki blasts and fireballs. Only like a Kamehameha once or twice. That's it. But it'd definitely be more martial arts based. And like something Dragon Ball Evolution does is this stupid slow-mo, fast-mo kind of tracking. And like, no, like let's see them actually fight hand-to-hand combat and things like that. And like it's mostly just Goku using his brute strength. Like he's trained, but he's not perfect.
Okay. All right.
So what's my rating, David? Green light or red light?
I'll give this the green light.
Nice.
I like it. I like that it follows close to what it is. Doesn't do exactly what the ending is. I guess it all depends on how the action comes out for this movie.
Yeah, it's hard to do an action movie pitch, but like, yeah, I think it'd be fine.
Yep. So yeah, well, that was a great pitch. I think that gave me the green, or got you the green light.
Trying to take my green light away from you, David. I worked hard for it.
Well, that movie, I think you did it justice. So hopefully in the future, somebody's listening and heard your pitch and follows it.
Yo, I will help you write this movie because this is definitely something that could be done well.
I do agree.
All right. Where can they find us, David, or where can they write us?
So you guys can always find us on our Instagram and Facebook, drp.repitch, or you can shoot us an email at drpitchit@gmail.com. Now, if you enjoyed this pitch, if you didn't enjoy this pitch, if you got any ideas for anything new, just shoot us an email through there.
Yeah, and please, follow us, rate us, berate us, and please do share us. Well, we'd love to read out your emails, and just have a great conversation with you guys. And stay tuned. We upload episodes every Wednesday and Friday, and this Friday we definitely have a special episode for you guys.
And of course, before we go out, always a big shout out to our friend Joe Yu for giving us the podcast music that you hear in the intro and the outro. Give him a listen, Mr. on SoundCloud. He's a Panda Mix, spelled Panda Mics.
Yes, I'm like, it definitely makes us sound a lot classier. Like I love re-listening to us, and I'm like, ooh, that jam in the beginning and the end. It definitely, it's really good.
I like our new intro. Yeah. I'm liking it a lot. So big thanks to Joe again. Yeah. And
share the love.
You got.
Are you ready for the quote from this movie to end our episode?
I'm curious because
this is by far the stupidest quote of any movie out there. Just because my name is Chi-Chi doesn't mean I'm an idiot. What? Oh gosh. All right. We'll see you guys later.